Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. My name is Olnuzola, and I'm participating in the 31 Days of Tarot Challenge, and this is day 8. And day 8 subject is the tarot books that I've read in 2019. Now I have a pile of tarot books. I have not read one of them completely. I use my tarot books as references mostly, and well, some of them I was just reading on its own just to read the book, but in general I have so many books. I have no idea how many books I have, and it almost never happens that I read a book from cover to cover without touching another book. I go from this to that, from that to this. I read every day. Most of them are informative books, just like tarot books. But there's a pile of books here, and I'm gonna share with you the books that I have. Now, it all started, my whole tarot journey all started with this book. I bought this book in 2013, I think, or 14 maybe, not later. I bought this book before I had a tarot deck. There already had been some years, I think, that so now and then it came to my mind, tarot. I think that's something for me. Yeah, I want to study it, but you know how life can go, especially with me. I just explained how I work with books, from this to that, from that to this. I do a lot. But I also tend to switch up on things. No, I have this house full of things, or this area full of houses, and I all love them. This is going off topic. I just like variety, and I don't like een sleur. I don't like to live every day the same. But then again, in my eclectic world, I haven't really changed through the years, so, but this is going off topic. This book, I bought it at a thrift store. I saw it was already worn. How do you say that? It's not a garment, I know, but it already looked used, but it looks even more used now because it's my first book, it's my oldest book. I saw it at a thrift store while I was actually, it was laying outside between some other stuff in front of the thrift store in Amsterdam Center, near to Newmarkt. And I was actually heading from the vintage store where I used to work to the supermarket, and I saw this, and the colors and the elemental tools just popped out to me, and I was like, that's my sign. That will be the start of my tarot journey. So that's nice to share this with you. It's just Rider-Waite based. I still have a Rider-Waite deck. I'll explain why in another video. I think I will buy one. Also, same with Marseille. Oh yeah, it's also Marseille. It's Rider-Waite and Marseille. And it's just quite a regular tarot book. It's in Dutch, and it's very informative. The next book I already showed you in another video is the Book of Thoth by Aleister Crowley. It's written in different dimensions. It's not, if you're starting to learn tarot, you shouldn't be starting with this book, even though I did, because Thoth was my first deck. You already have to know quite some esoteric and occult knowledge and your own wisdom, because a certain degree you cannot really learn. You just have to have it. You just have to understand it. Speaking about divination, but I tend to use the word rich a lot. It's a very rich book. You can really travel with this book. You can really expand, ignite, get inspired, but also remember it's just very codic, very symbolic. It's thought, it's about thought. Then a couple of months ago, I already showed you this book also in another video. I bought this one. It's the first deck that I bought several books for. And I bought this one because it's a nice adding to this one. It's completely different because this is so much more practical. It's easier. It just really gets all the elements of a card and explains the symbology. And you don't really have to search in this book. It's just very clear information. And it would be more logical for people to start with this one and then buy this one. But I'm a bit weird, so I start with the difficult things and then... And also, for me, when it comes to language, my mother tongue is Dutch. And even though I'm pretty good at English, it still feels like a struggle to me because it's just different. When I speak in my mother tongue, that's for every person the same. You have a wider vocabulary. And when you speak another language, well, sometimes I sort of get in the flow and I don't have to think about it anymore at all. But a lot of days I do have, it's like I put twice as energy in expressing myself when I express myself in another language. And for that reason, for me, it's also interesting to have these books because I think that a lot of people that are interested in my tarot readings want a reading in English. So it's important that I can express myself and that I expand my English vocabulary. And that's another reason why, for me, these books are interesting. And then I have a couple of books that just came with the deck. Marie Altero. Yeah, adventurous, little bit storytelling. The Dali Tarot. This book, it's a pretty book. What is this on my phone? It's a pretty book. It shows all the cards like that. This book, I actually studied the Dali Tarot a bit different because with this deck, this was the first deck that I studied in a way of which I had the pile laying on my table, and then every day I grabbed a couple of cards, just one, two, from the top, and then observed it, thought about what I see, and then read in the book what it says. And I noticed that the writer has very different perspective than I, because I did enjoy it in the sense that it did learn me about some symbology, obviously, because that's what it's about. But I noticed that quite often, and to me, I think a bit too much. I didn't agree. I just didn't agree, and that's fine. But so to me, this isn't really not a really good book, even though I love the way it looks, black with the blue, and the magician Dali as the magician. I love the look, and it's still interesting to read about someone else's perspective. But a lot of times I was like, no, I don't agree. Wildwood Tarot. It's a nice book. Also adventurous. It really takes you on the journey. The Wildwood Tarot goes by the wheel of the year. I'm almost going off track again. I'll share that in another video about the Wheel of the Year and how it's how it's done in this book. Tarot of the Orishas. Also showed you this another time. Yeah, it's fine. And then this book, also Rider-Waite and in Dutch. It has exercises in it, and I haven't really gotten into it. And I think sometimes I do. Also when I compare cards from decks, that's when I use these. Hey, what is this? This is, I needed this energy. Yeah, it's just very informative. Not very special book, but I'm glad that I have it, and it's very practical. I think I'll get into this more when the day comes that I do buy a Rider-Waite deck. And then this one, I also showed you this one, the Book of Doors, and yeah, also quite regular. Oh yeah, that's nice, but that's with the whole system. I explained this in the video of the 5 most used decks in 2019. I'm gonna put the link here so you can check that out. And that's it. Those are my tarot books. Well, I have 2 more, but they're new for this year. And I have an adding to this all that refers to my first video of this challenge. I'm putting the link here, and also at the end of the video you can see the link to the whole playlist of my other videos. So if you're new to my channel, go check them out if you're enjoying this and if you're curious about me. But today, this is very off topic, but I want to share it quickly today. Today I bought something I wasn't planning on, but I saw it, and it is in a perfume store, and I never come there because I do like the luxurious stuff, but I'm not really into those things. I'm into perfume, I'm into cosmetics, but not of the most expensive brands. Also a topic on its own. But perfume wise, back in the day I used to have so many perfumes. Now I think almost for the last decade I wear more perfume oils than actually perfumes. And that's why I'm referring to my first day of this challenge, the holiday goodies. I bought myself a book, Tarot Diva, and this is an adding to the energy that I reignited in myself and that I'm enjoying in myself and strengthening in myself. Because, well, check out my first video if you haven't. This is Gucci Rush. Check. I used to wear this in 2007, maybe 2006, when I was a teenager. Late, yeah, I was 2007, I was 18, 19. And there's a certain feel that I had that I'm feeling now again, being reborn and all. And this is gonna bring me abundance. This is magic. And even I see myself in the bus with my bag and my earrings and my skull candy, listening to music, similar to what you're hearing now in the background, and just very fiery wands type of energy. I'm attracting so many good things. I feel it, and this perfume is a tool, is a charm to honor, enjoy, and strengthen that whole vibe, that whole energy. So, do you know it? Do you know it? Thanks for watching, and have a good day, have a good evening. I see you tomorrow.